Welcome to the Hypothalamic Amenorrhea Podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, your host, certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and founder of the HA Society, and of course, an HA recovery coach who has walked where you currently are walking. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. So let's dive in. But last thing, nothing on the show should be taken as medical advice, so please seek the advice of your physician. Okay, so I have been talking a lot about the Restore program, the DIY program lately, but Ashley, Misha, and I just decided that last minute we want to relaunch the live group program version of Restore just because we are seeing a need in the community. We are launching the Restore Your Fertility program. Okay, so the difference with this one is that we are looking for a handful of women, five to 10 max, of women who are looking to recover to get pregnant. So specifically, your goal is recovery and fertility. And we're going to work with you for 10 straight weeks to get your period back and get you ready for conception, if not actually get you pregnant. So this is really our bread and butter. This is what we specialize in. And we know that if this is something that you really want to do, that getting pregnant, getting your period back is a top priority, you're absolutely going to make serious headway with this program. It's hybrid one-on-one and group, meaning you will have the exact answers to whatever you specifically need. We still provide you with a custom protocol. Basically, we take you through that process. As a group, this is really like our one-on-one coaching, but at scale, taking you through the process together versus just one at a time. So that basically means you get one-on-one coaching for a fraction of the price, and we take you over 10 weeks, and then you still get an entire year included of the HA Society for continued support and maintenance. So basically, you can't go wrong. We are yet to see a woman with amenorrhea, really be unable to recover. We just don't see it. It's not in the science. And in this process that we have done over and over again, we have seen women who seriously doubt their ability to succeed recover, like quickly. So if you are, talking your partner's ear off all of the time about this, and you need a different perspective and you need an expert opinion, this is definitely a program for you. And more so, if you feel like recovery is taking over your life, right? Like, oh my gosh, you think about it when you wake up, when you go to the bathroom, every time you have to eat. It's overwhelming. Should I try this? Should I try that? Let me Google this. This program is definitely going to be right for you because it's going to take out all of the questions. Over 10 weeks, 1 hour a week, you'll learn everything you need to know in order. And because there's that group element where you get to talk directly to us and communicate with us, you can really truly understand what applies to you and what doesn't, so that you can go and follow the plan and implement without questioning it constantly, without, bombarding your husband with like your fears and concerns. It's really designed to help take the stress out of this process, put you on track, and make sure that you feel completely comfortable with the process so that you can put it in the back burner, let it run on autopilot, and just live your life. So if you want in on this program, go to the hasociety.com/restore-June. That's restore-June. If you just go to the website, you'll see it in the navigation bar and apply. And if you do have lab work for us to review, a part of the application process will be helping with diagnosis, making sure that You sort of have a second opinion and some information, and we can't legally diagnose, but we can certainly show you, based on the labs, like this is what we look at, this is how we identify it. So if confirmation and clarity about what you're working on is also a piece for you, I highly recommend that you consider our program. We cannot wait to hang out with you. It starts June 14th. And applications will close, once we've basically had all of the spots filled. So get in quick and we'll see you guys there. Okay, on with the show. Okay. Hello. Hi. So this is different. I mean, if you have never watched one of my videos before, you don't care, but I have a studio. Look at this. It's still under construction. I only have about 50% of the gear, but I can't wait to get my microphone stand, the cool armband one, but right now I have to hold it. Ashley and I are starting a new show soon, to go along with the AJ podcast, like a different show. And so I decided this time around I want to do it different. I want to do it at the highest production quality. So when I started my show back in 2020, I just bootstrapped it, and I've been doing it that way ever since. Just got a microphone and just started recording podcasts. And I still do it that way. But this time we want to do a different show. We have a couple of ideas actually for some different shows in the future. But this is the first time that we're going to really try to up that production quality, quite purely because I want to. I've always been kind of techie. I like digital drawing. I like building websites. I like building marketing campaigns, and I like making content. And in the past few years, I actually started the company on my own, and Ashley came later, and I've really been head of IT for a long time. And so if we want to get anything done, we just have to do it and not really worry about the bells and whistles. And I think that that's really great advice for anyone starting a business online, but it's just time for some bells and whistles. I've earned it. And what happened was I actually went and recorded a podcast with a friend, Carly Brawner of the Doing It Different show. And I had to drive into Austin for it and go to a podcast studio. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I start looking into maybe we should use it. Maybe Ashley and I should meet here and record in person and have guests and record in person, because this just feels legit. You know what? I'm a grown woman. This is not a baby business anymore. We are making money. We are doing moves. We're legit, and I'm gonna start acting like it. So I start looking into their memberships, and they're anywhere between 500 and 800 bucks a month. And at first I was like, I'm a big girl. I want to do this. But I'm looking at it and all the equipment, and I'm like, I'm going to price this out. If I built this studio, what would it cost? How many months of a $500 membership? And actually I was looking more at the $700 one just for what I wanted. How much would that cost? So I priced that out, and I was like, I'm building my own studio. So it's halfway under construction. I'm still waiting on some stuff, but I have my studio lighting. I have half of my soundproofing. I have a bit more coming. I have a glow sign. I want a glowing sign. Maybe. I mean, it's overdone. But I don't know, what do you think of just the plain black background? Is that cool, or is it meh? So I'm in a corner of my office. I've created this. So yeah, we're just missing a few more pieces, and I have my laptop just monitoring stuff because this is new to me. So I'm probably looking everywhere. Anyway, boring story. But with the new podcast, we're still trying to think of a name for it, and I would love your help. So I did ask on Instagram people's ideas, and I got a lot of some interesting themes about, I guess, what people, because we didn't really tell people what the show would be about very much. So it was interesting as an experiment to see where people assumed Ashley and I would go. So there was a lot of like life beyond HA. The word beyond came up a lot. Words like nourished and fully nourished and things like that. And that was cool, but what I just know that my personality is like I'm not girly. And even though I have like a basically show that advocates for women's health and body image and all that good stuff, I just was like, I just am not going to have a show that's called like I don't even know, like nourished and flourish the world. Actually, that was a suggestion from someone. Nourish to flourish. Like, love it, but it's not me. Do you know what I mean? It's just not me. Like, I want something funny. And Ashley's the same way. She is also like funny, sarcastic, entertaining. And so the show is going to be very much about our expertise, which is like women's health, body image. There's tons of shows out there like that, right? But we also want to work in like some current affairs, business entrepreneurial, and I promise we have a different approach in mind. I also want to do like some segments. I have some cool segments in mind. Um, I really love the format of shows. A couple of my favorite shows are The Hamish and Andy Show and Tony and Ryan. And I just love how they have like segments with banter. And I'm just inspired by it. So I'm just creating like a whole new show. I've never done a show that has actual structure before. So this should be new. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I might just be ovulating and just be like on major inspiration mode. So we'll see. But yeah, anyway, a name that comes to mind for me that's like less girly and more kind of fun is I love the idea of like how other girls girl, or one that I'm playing with a lot is average unicorns, because unicorn comes up in almost every like category genre. You could be a unicorn in business, but you could also have unicorn syndrome. And Ashley and I talk a lot about unicorn syndrome, where just like women we all love health for everyone else. We're all like, yeah, you go girl, you have a great relationship with food and you deserve to be comfortable in your body, but like not me. I'm the exception. It's not okay for me. I'm the unicorn. Or hey, I know that like you need to do this for health, but I think that I am not that way. Like I think that I will not achieve these things that way, or I can achieve health while maintaining my unhealthy like habits and beliefs. So that like we're all unicorns in some way, and I thought that like average unicorn would be like a funny oxymoron, and it just like suits Ashley and I because we say it so much. But I don't know, maybe it's lame. You tell me. I'm really interested. I want name ideas. Give me them. Names are usually something I'm kind of good at. The Hypothalamic Amenorrhea Podcast, for example. Okay, so I really wanted to do this episode today really to like test drive all my gear, but I might as well make something valuable out of it. So I was going to do a YouTube Q&A. I've got lots of YouTube questions I haven't replied to. I know I need to, so I'm going to bang out a bunch of them right here. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Okay. Thank you. Oh, Lena says, thank you for all of the great advice. I had my first baby at 26 years old with the help of IVF. But after following your advice, I just found out I'm pregnant with baby number 3. Oh, this is not a question. Sorry, guys. Okay. AU says, hello. 5 months ago, my cycle returned and it had been regular until this month, and I haven't had it again. What am I doing wrong? So I've talked a lot about like when you miss the second period, or what you might expect in a second ovulation. I have videos on this topic, like how long will it take, and you can expect it to maybe take a little longer than usual. But if you had 4 cycles in a row and now you don't have one, something changed. So probably something in your life changed, whether it be stress, work, study, relationships. You might have been traveling, or you might have been moving. through to, hey, I've had my menstrual cycle for 5 months now after not having had it forever. I'm going to start working in some more exercise, or maybe I'm going to cut back on food a little bit because, I can't justify continuing to eat this way. I'm now healed, right? That is typically what gets us a little bit of a delayed cycle. It's going to take you at least a solid year before you're no longer really sensitive to that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend that you do a review, look back at your calendar. What were you doing the last 4 months? What was working? Chances are you made some changes around like month 3, and the 4th cycle still came, but hormones were getting a little lower again, and then the next one didn't come. So really think back, what got you your first and second periods? What have you been less consistent with, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, within your control or not within your control, and try and replicate that. And it's really important to kind of figure out, where did the change come from? If it was like you were studying or things got crazy at work, it's like, look, that's real life and that's okay. But if you found yourself being a little less diligent with what you need to do to maintain your menstrual cycle, right? You thought you were the unicorn and you didn't need to keep going this way, or you don't deserve to keep eating in this way. That's the kind of thing that's going to make your menstrual cycle go backwards. So I recommend you do that review and you'll figure it out. Okay. A huge thank you to Tempdrop for sponsoring this podcast. Tempdrop is a fertility awareness monitoring tool that I love. It's a wearable device which you can use instead of taking your temperature manually with a thermometer each morning. As you may know, we recommend the fertility awareness method both as you're going through recovery and 100,000% after you have gone through recovery as you move forward for the rest of your reproductive years. Tempdrop gives you everything you need to effortlessly track your fertility. You wear the Tempdrop sensor while you sleep for accurate basal body temperature readings without the stress of early morning wake-ups. I personally love and need this because with a toddler, my wake-up times are all over the place and the occasional sleep disruptions are making the use of an oral thermometer increasingly more difficult. Tempdrop's accompanying charting app enables you to track an array of symptoms alongside your BBT, including cervical mucus and OPKs, and even gives you sleep insights. Combine these fertility signs all in one place to identify your fertile window, confirm ovulation, plan for your period, or identify pregnancy. Whether you are trying to conceive or avoiding pregnancy, or you want to chart your fertility for health reasons like HA recovery to see where you're at in the process, Tempdrop makes fertility awareness accessible to all women, even if you don't have regular cycles or sleeping patterns. Track your ovulation in real time with Tempdrop. Get 10% off your order when you go to tempdrop.thehasociety.com and use the code HASociety at checkout. Please support this show by using our link and our discount code. Get your Tempdrop at the time of this recording and send us a screenshot of your purchase either via Instagram, or you can email us, danny@thehasociety.com, having used our discount code HASociety. So it has to be in the screenshot to get your 10% off. When you send that to us, we will send you free access to our fertility awareness method for HA course. Again, that's tempdrop.thehasociety.com and use HA Society at the checkout to also get access to our course that we usually sell. And one more thing to sweeten the pot is that you can put this 10% code on top of any other pre-existing sales they're doing. So I know that they're doing regularly 15% off and 20% off sales. And so if you go specifically to tempdrop.thehasociety.com, it will apply an additional 10% off to whatever sale is going on. So you can't lose. You get the Tempdrop, you get probably multiple discounts, and you get our FAM course. So definitely check it out. And again, support our sponsors so that we can keep giving you this show for free. Thanks. You guys, we have partnered up with the incredible skincare app Lovely. So check this out. My particular skin issues, if you will, are that I have huge pores and I get fluid kind of build up in my face, and I've never really known how to process it out of my face or that there was anything I could do about it at all. I thought it was just bloating, and I can tell you that this is something that is really common in the HA Society, and well, we see in clients as well all of the time, and that's why I wanted to share this with you. The Lovely app helped me develop a custom face yoga and massage plan to tackle these fluid buildup issues and my enlarged pore issues. And I can't actually believe how well it worked. So when we finally found Lovely, an all-in-one holistic self-care app with face yoga being at its core, we jumped on the opportunity to partner up with them. In fact, it was a recovered HAer, so one of you, who listened to the show who reached out representing the brand, which means they represent our amazing listeners as well. So I thought that this is perfect. Now let me tell you about Lovely. Lovely, spelled Luvly, lets you get personalized face yoga and skincare programs tailored to your needs and goals. They help you learn facial massages and gua sha massages to help reduce tension, promote blood flow, and boost collagen production. They let you explore anti-stress tools such as breathing and mindfulness exercises to improve your mental health and well-being. So if you're not already using a mental health app, this is an all-in-one for you. And they let you enjoy personalized meal ideas for healthy and glowing skin based on your dietary preferences. That's awesome. When I tried out Lovely for the first time, I was blown away. I felt like I was doing a full-on skin routine that involved 0 products being used on my face other than my favorite moisturizer. I saw a difference in my skin tone and even the elasticity in my face. I had dealt with the drainage and blotchiness issues completely, and I had no idea that I could even deal with that. I had this whole story about my skin, and I just realized in the end that all I needed to do was get on top of a face yoga routine. So the reason I love this app for you is because it's a way for you to create a routine in your life and still have a quote unquote workout that is actually serving you in any season of your life. So if you're still learning how to relax after a long day with a different approach to your previous stress relief strategies, you know who you are. There's nothing quite like winding down with a relaxing evening routine. And what better way to look after yourself than with Lovely's face yoga and mindful skincare routine? It's my current mommy alone time situation. So before you rush to try this app, here's something really cool. You don't just log in and start doing workouts for your face. They have created a quick quiz just for listeners of the HA podcast that will build a specific plan just for you based on your specific skin challenges and goals. So this is the best part. When you do the quiz, it doesn't take very long. You just answer a bunch of questions about your skin and statements you believe are true about your skin, and it will generate a plan for you with a code that you can then apply to the app that will not only load it into the app for you, but also provide 50% off of your membership. So this is just for the listeners of the HA podcast. To find the quiz, go to lovely.thehasociety.com. This customized plan feature has made my specific skin goals improve so much, so the quiz is non-negotiable. And remember, do the quiz anyways if you want the 50% off of the plan and the whole app. It's worth it. It is key to your skin success. So unleash your inner beauty and nurture your beauty and confidence from within, y'all. Take a moment for your me time and enjoy your beauty journey during a time where your body composition goals are not able to be your number one baby. So take the quiz, get the discount, go to lovely, lovely.thehasociety.com. That's lovely.thehasociety.com. So is this a question? No. The comment. Okay, I think this is a question, so I'm just going to read it and find out. Celissa or Celisa Clissa says, most recently, I started exercising again after not exercising since November, and I started doing a version of the 12-3-30 treadmill. I don't know what that is. And I think that shocked my body because my period was a week late this month and I'm not stressed and I eat pretty well, but it's my body's way of saying slow down. I really wanted to stick to it every day and took 3 days off so far and finally got my period. And I'm torn whether to do Pilates or do treadmill again. I'm in my 20s and never been on any medications and I'm not stressed. So this missed period was odd. My periods are always regular. I was never a cardio person in general, but in the past I stuck to light at-home strength training exercises with weights, not super heavy. And that didn't affect my period, but with the whole 12-3-30, or in my case 7-2.5-30, it's a sort of struggle to just walk that fast for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm not sure I fully followed all of that stuff. But I'm hearing like it seems weird that the exercise I'm doing and what I'm doing is impacting my menstrual cycle. And so I get that. Like, this seems like it shouldn't be that consequential, like what's going on. But honestly, like, this is just how it goes. And I don't know. Um, I assume you have a history of HA, Clissa. And so that you started exercising again in November and it was all going well, and then this changed. If you were getting your period back doing this type of exercise and then it went away, it's probably not that necessarily. It's probably like everything else. Like maybe you also didn't eat as much, or like typically that's going to be it. Or it could be stress. So don't look too much to exercise in that case. But if it is that you started in November and then since then you haven't got the period, then yeah, there's something about the exercise that's not able to be supported, whether it's that you're not eating enough protein or carbohydrates to go with that. You lost weight and you introduced the exercise, but you didn't introduce more calories. So now you're back in a caloric deficit. If you haven't been recovered for very long, it's highly likely that your body's going to be sensitive to that. And so that makes a lot of sense. I hope that helped. Okay. Is this a question? No. Okay. Fatima asks, what do you think of very mild pain in the left uterus, very low abdomen? I've been experiencing it for a while, but still no period. So I actually do get this one a lot. Obviously, there is only one uterus, so I think Fatima just means the lower left side of the left side of the uterus, or the left ovary. I do hear people be like, "Oh my gosh, I've got this sensation. I'm feeling something in my ovary," and that is really kind of common. But the problem is that it's really subjective, so I don't know 100% what you're feeling, or if it's the same as what my other client or Q&A person is describing. So just keep that in mind, that I just don't know for certain. But I do feel a sensation around ovulation, and I did feel it in my first menstrual cycle as well, I remember. Because you'll hear people be like, oh, I know when I'm ovulating. I'm one of those people. It's really true. You can feel it. It's an organ. You can feel your heartbeat. You can feel your lungs fill. You can feel your uterus and your ovaries doing stuff. And it makes sense that when your uterus and ovaries have been dormant for months or years, they've been doing nothing. They've just been sitting there getting dusty. Suddenly, they're bringing follicles to maturation. They're producing cervical mucus. They're building uterine lining. And eventually, they're preparing to contract to get rid of that uterine lining because you're not pregnant. It's like you're probably going to feel something. That just kind of makes sense. So I do think that people are feeling that. And even if it's going on for a really long time, the beginning of recovery, your menstrual cycle, this organ is starting to do stuff from a dead stop. So expect it to take time. Expect it to need to like warm up and attempt to bring a follicle to maturation and attempt to ovulate, but like need a few tries and not look the same way a menstrual cycle that has been going on in a positive feedback loop for a really long time. Do not expect it to look like that. Additionally, it could be gas. Okay. Okay, here's a long one. This is a long one. Let's go. Lydia. I heard of the all-in approach a few years ago, and I thought I would give it a try. Lo and behold, my period arrived the next month. However, when I reduced to a maintenance intake of 2,300 calories a day, my period ceased entirely. Interesting. At the time, I wasn't at all concerned. I knew it could take up to several months for my body to establish a regular cycle, so I decided to let it be. A year later, there were still no signs. I upped the calories again and got a period. Admittedly, this scared me a bit. It was easier to believe the previous year was a coincidence and not a coincidence. Oh, and not a consequence of eating more. Why, when I overload my body with food, I get my period the following month? I have not been in a calorie deficit for years, not since I was anorexic at ages 11 to 17, and eat regularly throughout the day. My weight is stable, averaging a 53 to 4 pound, 53 kilos in a 4 pound range. We're mixing up metrics, all right. And for my height at 174 centimeters, so for those of you wondering, that is tall. I'm not unhealthy. Obviously, so 53 centimeters. 53 kilos at 174. I'm not unhealthy. I'm gonna pause right there before I finish the rest of the conversation. I have calls like this with women all the time. I'm this tall and I'm this weight. I'm totally healthy weight. I'm not saying you're not a healthy weight, but I am saying I would 100% lose my period at that size. I'm shorter than you, and I never got as lean as 53 kilograms. So if this is you, and this is so many of you, y'all, I'm not just talking to Lydia right now. This is like all the time. I'm going to need us all to take a breath and look at our height and weight and realize that just because you are not at that weight that like your friends are worried about you, like, oh, I'm worried about you, you're so thin, just because that's not you does not mean you are not lean. And I'm telling you right now, if you're 173 centimeters and you're 58 kilograms, I'm not ready to let you convince me that you're definitely at a healthy weight. Okay. Obviously, being in a calorie surplus long term is unsustainable. Is there an alternative to restoring my cycle? I'm not an obsessive exerciser. Ironically, I have ME. So aside from the floor exercises I do each morning, my lifestyle is sedentary. It has been a year since I last menstruated. Could this be related to being severely anorexic during adolescence? I was hospitalized 3 times. Might I have acquired damage to the hypothalamus from chronic malnutrition? I was late to reach my menarche, get my first period. I was 17. And I have only had a handful of periods since. Sorry if this sounds jumbled. My mind is all over the place. No, it wasn't jumbled. It was all solid. Makes a ton of sense. You know, I could agree with you that there's potentially your history needing to be taken into account. You do not get to compare yourself to anyone, quite frankly, but especially not to someone who never had anorexia. You know, you just like don't get to do that. So considering your past, there was a lot of stress, and we all know eating disorders don't go away. You learn to navigate them instead of them navigating you. You establish a better relationship with food and exercise. You stop doing those behaviors, but it's still there, causing you stress, subconsciously driving some of your actions, telling you that at 174 centimeters, you are a healthy body weight at 53 kilos. That is the eating disorder having those conversations with you, either partially or completely. So I do think that there's an element of stress in there that is like going to take you quite a while to get back to a homeostasis for your hormones. Let me reread some dates on here. A few years ago, gave it a try, and got her period back the next month. That's really great. So, however, she went to maintenance intake. So I don't know what your calories were when you got your period back versus the maintenance intake. So if you were eating like 3,000 calories, and you probably don't know, you weren't tracking, I don't know, maybe you were. If you're eating like 3,000 calories and then you went to 2,300, that's a huge drop. So you may not have titrated down appropriately. So that like sudden drop in food is scary. It's possible that you get all of your calories from diet food still, like rice cakes, low fat food. You swap like sour cream for Greek yogurt, you eat low carb bread, and you mostly eat leafy greens, and you eat only lean protein, and like everything that you, all of your calories that you eat are diet food. This can be contributing. So there's tons of areas you can go in. But what I want you to know is that it's possible your weight is still too low, and that's a contributing factor. So although you feel that you are at a sufficient weight, although you feel that you don't exercise and it should be not a big deal, if your body is still hypersensitive, your body weight could be a deal, could be a thing. I'm gonna introduce that to you, and then if there are any other things that come up for you, just let me know, and we can keep chatting. Okay. I mean, I have more. I'm supposed to kind of jump on a meeting right now. Okay, I'm meant to jump on a meeting right now, so I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do more in another episode. But yeah, if you have a question, please submit it to the podcast, either by coming to YouTube, put it on a comment on a video, any video, I'll see it, I'll find it, or come to Instagram, ask me a question on Instagram, and we would love to have you. So our Instagram is at Danny Sheriff, or at the HA Society, at the HA Society. Please subscribe to this channel. I love that you guys are here. I love trying to grow YouTube. It's really, really fun, and I would appreciate it beyond belief. And I hope you like my studio. Okay, bye. This episode is brought to you by Grassland Nutrition beef liver capsules. Did you know that in terms of nutrient density, beef liver actually blows vegetables and fruits out of the water? If you're a client of mine, you have already been instructed to eat beef liver either fresh or in capsule form. I recommend it for anyone and everyone who is, of course, dealing with amenorrhea and fertility challenges out there, but I may even recommend it for just everyone in general. Get your husbands on it, get your partners on it. If you have a history of HA and add on top of that maybe a history of the pill, maybe you've been pregnant before, through treatments or other, like your body's been through anything, you're absolutely 100% dealing with a nutrient deficiency of some kind. And while it's true that testing is going to be the best way to understand those exact deficiencies, eating nutrient-dense, real food is going to be one of the most important next steps that you take with or without testing. So I've been using and recommending Grassland Nutrition beef liver capsules for years now. And the capsule form makes it so easy to get your liver in every day. And I appreciate the transparency of this product in particular above others. So in case you're wondering, it's completely natural. This is freeze-dried beef liver in capsules. It's organic, it's made from Australian beef, and my favorite of their products is the liver with kelp because of the iodine from the kelp, which is important for overall thyroid function, which is often low in women with underperforming hormones. So rather than eat seaweed snacks every day, I get to take this beef liver with the kelp for my iodine. So if you're recovering or working on a fertility journey right now, do not skimp the nutrient-rich source of beef liver. Get 10% off your order with the HA Society and support your favorite podcast along the way. They ship to most countries, so you should be covered. Just go to grasslandnutrition.net and use HA Society, just HA Society, at the checkout for the 10% off. That's grasslandnutrition.net with the code HA Society. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women